Ever wished for something so badly you'd do anything to get it? The kind of desire that consumes your every thought, that keeps you awake at night, that makes you feel incomplete without it. We all have dreams and aspirations, but sometimes the lengths we go to achieve them can lead us down dark and dangerous paths. Be careful what you wish for. For every wish granted, there is a price to be paid. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, and sometimes the cost is far greater than the reward. This is a tale of one such wish, a wish that brought with it a curse so powerful it changed the life of one woman forever. Alice was an ordinary woman with extraordinary dreams. She had always been fascinated by the mystical and the unknown. One day, while wandering through the narrow streets of her town, she stumbled upon a dusty, forgotten shop. The shop was filled with old, cluttered items, each with its own story to tell. As she explored the dimly lit interior, she felt a strange pull towards a dusty corner. There she found a pair of gloves, unlike any she had ever seen. They were old, yet they seemed to shimmer with a strange, otherworldly light. The elderly shopkeeper, a man with a wise and mysterious air about him, approached her. "Those gloves," he said, "belong to a magician. They are not ordinary gloves. They have the power to grant wishes, but be warned, every wish has a price." Alice was intrigued. She had always dreamed of having her wishes come true, and here was her chance. She asked the shopkeeper about the price, but he only smiled and said, "You will find out soon enough." Despite the warning, Alice decided to buy the gloves. She couldn't resist the temptation of having her deepest desires fulfilled. That night, as she sat in her dimly lit room, she put on the gloves and made her first wish. She wished to pay off her debts, which had been weighing heavily on her mind. She laughed at the absurdity of it all, but deep down, she hoped that the gloves would work their magic. The next morning, she awoke to find a stack of cash on her nightstand. Her wish had come true. She was overjoyed and couldn't believe her luck, but her joy was short-lived. As she turned on the news, she learned that a bank had been robbed the previous night. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks. The money she had wished for had come at the cost of someone else's misfortune. The bank robbery was all over the news. Police cars with flashing lights surrounded the crime scene, and the broken vault was a stark reminder of the price of her wish. Alice felt a pang of guilt, but she tried to convince herself that it was just a coincidence. She had no way of knowing that her wish had caused the robbery. Undeterred by the strange coincidence, Alice decided to make another wish. This time, she wished for recognition at work. She had been working tirelessly for years, but her efforts had gone unnoticed. She longed for the acknowledgement and respect she felt she deserved. The next day, she was called into her boss's office and was given an award for her outstanding performance. She was thrilled, but as she looked at the plaque, she noticed something strange. The name on the plaque was not hers. It was the name of a colleague who had recently been fired. The recognition she had received was not truly hers, and it left her feeling hollow and confused. Despite the unsettling events, Alice decided to make one final wish. She wished to be the most admired person in town. She had always dreamed of being loved and respected by everyone around her. She imagined herself standing confidently in front of a crowd, being applauded and admired by all. But admiration quickly turned into obsession. Strangers began to invade her privacy, peeking through her windows and crowding outside her house. She felt trapped and scared, unable to escape the constant attention. The admiration she had wished for had become a nightmare. Terrified and desperate, Alice decided to get rid of the gloves. She threw them into the fireplace, hoping to destroy them once and for all. But as the flames consumed the gloves, they remained unscathed. They returned to her, pristine as ever, as if mocking her attempts to be free of their curse. The gloves had taken control. Her hands were no longer her own. They moved on their own accord, demanding control over her actions. She struggled to regain control, but the gloves were too powerful. They had a will of their own, and they were determined to fulfill their own desires. Alice's reflection in the mirror began to change. It took on a sinister smile, and she could hear a voice whispering, "Your wish is our command." The reflection tightened its grip around her throat, and she felt a cold, suffocating fear. The gloves had become a part of her, and there was no escaping their grasp. The gloves once again awaited their next victim. They lay ominously on the table, waiting for someone else to fall into their trap. Alice's story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes the things we desire most come with a price we are not prepared to pay. Be careful what you wish for the cost may be more than you can bear.